so we're going to continue with Chapter 8, Forecasting, Part 2, and we're going to go into demand patterns, right? So when we're looking at the last chart, we talked about what we call a pattern, right? So the beer, we're going to sell less, light beer, we're going to sell less in the winter and more in the summer, okay? So there's several different patterns that we can see on demand. We're going to talk about some of the basic ones here, okay? So imagine that, this is the quantity again, similar chart that we have. Here is our sales of our product, and this is time, right? So it could be months or weeks or days, so it doesn't matter, right? So if we looked at our demand over time, what can we see? What's happened with that demand? Is that demand increasing? Is that demand decreasing? Is that demand showing some repeatability, some trend? So it's varying over time, right? You guys can see that's going up and down and up and down and up and down, but it's kind of varying around the mean, right? So this pattern here is what we call a horizontal pattern, right? So we don't have an increase in demand. We're not seeing a decrease in demand of our product. We're just seeing some variation that's occurring over time, okay? So every month, varies, but is not going anywhere, right? So that's kind of usually a more mature product or something like that. So here's another pattern, right? So we can see that quantity again here over time. We can see that something's happening, right? So what's happening here? Yeah, you can see, if we're going to predict a demand, right? What are we going to use to predict a demand? Are we going to use the average? We can't do that, right? Because you can see that the demand is increasing over time, right? So you can see the start here very low, let's say 1,000 units, and here is 10,000 units. You can see that it's growing and growing, growing and growing every month or every day or every year. It's growing, right? So that's a positive trend. It's a consistently increase, it's a positive. If it's a consistent decrease, it's a negative trend, right? So in the previous example, if we're going to predict the future demand, you're going to predict something, okay, something around here, right? So it's going to go up and down, but it's going to kind of maintain around here, right? In this one, if we're going to predict the demand, it's not going to be that average that we predicted for the other one. You know that's going to be trending up, right? So you know that something's happening here. We're selling more. The product is a winner. We're very happy with it. And it's going to sell more and more and more, right? So it's a kind of a product that's on the beginning of the life cycle, which is kind of increasing demand over time. And it changed the way that I forecast. Again, this one is going to be like here, the other one will be more around the average. So what's happening here? What's going on? So we have year one here going up and down. Then year two is going up and down again, right? So you can see that the variation occurred based in a certain period of time during the year. And this is what we call seasonality. So you can see that it goes down here in April, May, it stabilizes, and it go up in August, September, right? And it's consistent doing 1 year and then doing the second year. In addition to that, what we call the seasonality. So seasonality it's a constant change regarding a specific time of the year. At the same time, we can also see what we call a negative trend, right? So the first year was higher, the second year is lower. When we predict the third year, we're probably going to say, okay, it's going to be a little bit lower than that. Yes, that's kind of a different part of the life cycle of a product. We're probably here seeing reduction on total sales, right? So in this chart is showing 3 different weeks. So we have days of the week here: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. We have week 1 of the month, week 2 of the month, week 3 of the month, right? So we can see that, we go down on Wednesday and then it go up back on Saturday, Friday, right? And that's happening consistently every week. So that's what we call a cyclical. So it's repeating, uh, and decreasing or increasing, whatever it is, but it's repeating over a certain period of time, right? So it could be weeks, it could be years, it could even be months. So we say that the seasonal trend, seasonal pattern is a cyclical one that is repeating based on month of the year, right, or the seasons, right? Here in this, it's a type of a cyclical. So we have other types of cyclical. Let's say that we're in a restaurant that people like to go at night, and we know that people go out more during the weekend. So Friday and Saturday, you have more demand because of that, right? So there's a lot of business that work like that, right, in cyclical periods. If we think about restaurants, that's the same thing, right? You can see patterns occurring along the day. More people go during lunch, more people go during dinner, depending on what kind of restaurant you are. Okay.